Governor, it is good to see you. Happy Friday. Happy Independence Day weekend.
Thank you. We're excited about the weekend, and it's good to be with you today.
Well, thank you again. So your state has given about $1 million to pregnancy centers, but that's a fraction of what's likely going to be needed for the thousands of unwanted pregnancies that are going to occur each year now. What else might you and your state legislature be planning to do to help young mothers and families?
Well, it's an important question, and we are addressing it. And first of all, we started this long before. You know, we took a Medicaid expansion in Arkansas that provided health coverage for the working poor. We're trying to improve our health care for maternal moms, for prenatal care. But what we do now, and you start with the fact that last year we had about 3,000 abortions in Arkansas. And so under the new law that the Supreme Court allowed to take effect, that means that a significant number of those will be reduced. Some of those moms will put the child up for adoption, so we're going to have to increase our adoption services. Others will go out of state, which I think will be a small minority, but there'll be many that will carry that child to term and to keep that child. And so we want to make sure that we have the wraparound services for that mom, both during the pregnancy, but also afterwards. So we're looking as to how we can beef that up. I've charged my health department and human services to come up with more funding for each of those needs that we see as a result of this.
So we should anticipate more funding for psychological issues potentially stemming from unwanted births or physical issues with pregnancies and births. And also, there's this report now that at least 2 Arkansas state senators say they're looking to introduce legislation to ban women from traveling out of state to get an abortion. Is that a law you would sign?
I would not. The challenge there is that that would be in violation of interstate commerce. Obviously, we want to discourage that because the public policy in Arkansas is to limit abortions and to carry out the will of the people. And so we recognize that that is something that even the United States Supreme Court addressed in one of the concurring opinions, that this is not intended to restrict interstate commerce. The Supreme Court decision said each state's going to make its own decisions in this, which is traditional public health matters. Arkansas has made its decision. Other states might look at it differently.
Governor, over the last few weeks, we have learned more details about January 6th and Trump's role on the violence that the nation witnessed that day. Representative Liz Cheney called Trump, quote, domestic threat we have never seen before. Do you agree? Do you believe that he is a danger to this nation?
Well, as you can see from the testimony on January 6th and subsequent to the election, where he was challenging the legality of it, the lawful transfer of a party, yes, that was a threat to our democracy. That was a threat to our institutions of government. And that's not the behavior we want to see in a responsible president. I think the question for the January 6th committee is, one, you get facts out to the public, which is important to know. Secondly, they're trying to make a case that there's criminal conduct on behalf of the president. I question whether they have made that case. I don't believe they have. I don't know whether they can, but the Justice Department is watching that, and we'll see how that develops. But at this point, they have not made that criminal conduct case, in my judgment.
But you agree with the Congresswoman that he's a danger to the nation. That's what you're saying.
Well, everybody phrases it a different way. I would not be supporting him for 2024. He acted irresponsibly. During that time, he was a risk to the nation. Absolutely. So that's my statement on it.
What did you make of Asa Hutchinson's testimony this week?
Very compelling. I mean, anyone who appreciates the difficulty of someone being 25 and thrust into that incredible closeness to history and what even in her young age understood to be fundamentally wrong, and she testified to it. So my heart goes out to those that really stood firm during that time, and I think she clearly demonstrated her concern and love for our country.
Yeah. She did. Did you believe her, Governor? Did you believe her? Did you believe what she told us?
I did. She came across with a great deal of credibility, but what's the challenge with the committee is that they're not having cross-examination, they're not having other points of view, and so that makes it more difficult. I'm a lawyer. I'm used to the adversary system where you have different points of view presented, and that was eliminated. Secondly, they got into hearsay, and that's where if they can't back that up, it undermines that testimony. So I want them to be careful, the committee, that they present this in as fair a manner as they can,
a lot of people,
and make sure they really have the facts as they present it.
Many agree with you on that point, but I want to get to 2024 because you have said out loud that you're considering a presidential bid in 2024 and former President Trump will not be a factor in your decision. Most people don't say that out loud. What's your thinking here?
Well, I answer questions honestly, and while we're totally focused on 2022, obviously there's talk about 2024, and I had to make it clear that Trump has disqualified himself, in my judgment, from his actions on January 6th and leading up to that. And so we have to go a different direction for our country, for my party. And so I want to be a voice for common sense conservatism, and we'll see how that resonates. But let's get through 2022. We got a very important election ahead.
I know, Governor, but it sounds like you're considering challenging him if he decides to run in 2024. You said you answer the questions that you're asked. Would you run in 2024?
Well, what I'm doing is consistent with that. I haven't made a commitment to it. I haven't made a decision on it, but I'm laying the foundation for that if that is something that's going to be helpful to our country. So we're looking at it, but no decision will be made till after this election in 2022.
Okay, we look forward to your announcement right here at the table at CBS Mornings. We got a seat right over there on the left.
We'll keep it warm for you, Governor.
We look forward to seeing you again. Thank you so much, Governor, for coming on again. We always like to see you.